Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with another fantastic video for you guys out there in the K1 visa green card land, anxiously waiting for your K1 visas to get approved, adjudicated, or you're filling out a K1 visa and you don't know how to do it, and you have no clue on how to do this, and you're calling immigration attorneys and they're telling you to send them big checks. Well, the same for green card applications, 2-year, 10-year, lifting conditions off your 2-year green card. This channel was created to help you do this basically for free, okay? Other than the visa fees that you have to pay the government, okay? So just watch my videos, and they're for you. And my beautiful wife, Karina from Venezuela, and I are here to help you through this process. Now, I got a text message, a question. What happens when I'm at the K1 visa interview at the embassy or the consulate, and the embassy sends all my stuff back to USCIS or to the National Visa Center? What happened? What am I supposed to do? Well, watch this video and I'll explain to you what's going on. So what is a consular return? What does it mean? Now, a consular return will occur when a U.S. embassy or a consulate overseas decides not to issue the K1 visa after USCIS has approved the actual petition. So rather than denying the visa outright, the consular officer sends the petition back to the USCIS folks or MVC with a recommendation that it be re-reviewed or revoked. Okay, so the embassy is making a decision here what to do. And so what happens when the embassy or the consulate return your K1 visa to USCIS or the National Visa Center? Let me explain to you, okay? When a K1 visa petition is returned to USCIS or the MVC, it typically means that the consular officer has raised concerns, they got issues, they don't have complete confidence in this application, so it needs to be addressed. And the USCIS and the MVC are the folks that need to look at this. So the consular officer may have concerns, let's say, about the relationship. Maybe he or she doesn't feel like it's real, or the qualifications, or there's other factors that could affect the visa officer's decision. So the process involves the petition being routed through the Department of State, which is the MVC, and then back to the original USCIS Service Center for review. Okay? Then USCIS is then going to take one of the following actions. So what happens? What happens when your K1 visa application gets sent back to the Service Center? Okay? Well, the USCIS, they're going to either reaffirm the petition and approve it and say, it's good, why did you send this back to me? Okay? And then they're going to mail it back in a consular pouch to the embassy or the consulate for visa issuance. They're going to issue the K1, okay? Or they're going to issue a notice of intent to revoke, NOIR, or requesting more evidence for explanation. So if they revoke the petition, if it concludes that the concerns are valid by the embassy officer, okay, the response to the NOIR is crucial. You got to respond to it, as it can determine whether the petition moves forward or is withdrawn. Okay? A strong response generally includes thorough documentation, probably some legal arguments addressing the concerns that have been raised by the consular officer at the U.S. Embassy or the consulate. Now, the quality of this response from the sponsor, okay, can and will significantly impact the outcome of the case. What happens is that the petition actually is going to be returned and then forwarded to the Kentucky Consular Center, the KCC, okay? And then the original USCIS Service Center will check it over for another review to see what the consular officer is concerned about. So it could go to the MVC, then the KCC, then the USCIS Service Center. So at this stage, when USCIS receive the package, they may reaffirm the petition, okay, so okay, everything's good, what are you all having a panic attack about? They'll reaffirm it and then send it back to the consulate, okay? Or they're going to issue a notice of intent to revoke, like I said, which is an NOIR, and this gives the petitioner a chance to respond. So USCIS is going to give you an opportunity, Mr. Sponsor, Ms. Sponsor, to respond to this action, okay? Now, if they revoke the petition, if the evidence supports that the consular officer's concerns were real, and there's an issue with the K-1 visa application that was uncovered at the consular interview, the K-1 visa interview, unfortunately the process can take several months, maybe 6, 8, 9 months, even longer, and petitioners, American citizen sponsors, are left in the dark during the interim. They got no idea what's going on. They're like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. So my recommendation, my advice to you is this: if this happens to you, okay, if this happens to you, wait 6 months. I would say wait for USCIS to send you a letter and with an explanation as to what's going on. It could be a notice of intent to revoke. It could be everything's good. But wait about 6 months, and then if you haven't heard anything in 6 months, contact the service center who processed your original K-1 visa application. Okay, and you could hire an immigration attorney. This would be a good point. This would be a good time to hire an immigration attorney to open up your case for you. Although I don't recommend you need an immigration attorney just to file the K-1 or to file the green card application. But in this situation, it would be a good idea to hire an immigration attorney to have them reopen your case and give you legal advice, etc. Thanks for watching the videos, ladies and gentlemen. I do a live stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, 6 p.m. Central. Sometimes I'll take a night off with my beautiful wife, Karina from Venezuela, beautiful Venezuela. And if you want to join up as a member, you get my phone number, email address. You can call me, text me anytime you want. 7 days a week. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you legal advice. I don't work for USCIS, but I got over 12 years experience. Over 12 years I've been doing this. I can do it in my sleep. And I've helped hundreds of people overcome difficulties with their K-1 visa applications. All right? See you at the next live stream. And thanks for watching.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye.
Hello.